The conversation ended hours ago. Nothing dramatic happened. But now one sentence is playing again. The pause before they answered, the expression you might have misread, and the reply you wish you had given instead. Your mind treats this replay like an investigation. One more pass, and perhaps you will finally understand what they meant. Yet each pass rarely brings new evidence. It often brings a harsher edit of the same evidence. So why does the brain keep pressing replay? And how do you give the review a real ending? Researchers use the term post-event processing for a closely related pattern. Persistent, detailed, often negative thinking after a social situation. Most of this research concerns social anxiety, so replaying a conversation does not, by itself, mean you have a disorder. In fact, some degree of reviewing an embarrassing moment appears to be common. The important question is what the review is doing. Useful review changes something. You remember a fact, make a decision, apologize, or prepare a specific response for next time. Then the review can end. Replay is different. It returns to the same material without improving the evidence or the plan. If 10 minutes of thinking leaves you with the same question but more shame, you are probably no longer solving the conversation. You are circling it. Part of the problem is the camera angle. During an uncertain social moment, attention can turn inward. You notice the heat in your face, the speed of your voice, or the feeling that you looked nervous. But you cannot directly see the other person's private thoughts. Your internal camera therefore records sensations and guesses, then presents them later as if they were footage of the whole room. Now the mind becomes an editor. It enlarges the pause. It lowers the brightness on their neutral expression. It cuts the moment they smiled, the ordinary way the conversation continued, and every explanation that has nothing to do with you. Studies of socially anxious participants suggest that repeated, self-focused review can be linked with more negative evaluations of their own performance, not necessarily more accurate ones. That distinction matters. The research finds a meaningful relationship between post-event rumination and social anxiety, but the strength varies with the task and the way both are measured. This is a process on a continuum, not a diagnosis from a YouTube video. An occasional replay can simply be a human attempt to learn from a socially important moment, and that attempt persists because it feels responsible. If the interaction mattered, thinking harder can feel like preparation. Prevent the next mistake. Repair your reputation. Regain control. The loop even creates tiny moments of relief whenever you invent a better reply. That relief teaches the mind to pull the lever again, although the original uncertainty is still there. This reveals the trap. You are demanding certainty from a recording with no new camera angles. Were they offended? Did I sound foolish? What do they think of me now? Repetition cannot reliably answer questions that require information from another mind, and if certainty is the condition for stopping, the finish line can move forever. Instead of trying to win the argument inside the replay, give the review a different job. Here is a short experiment called Catch, Check, Choose. It is not a clinical treatment or a guaranteed way to stop rumination. It is a structure for deciding whether another round of thought can produce anything useful. First, catch. Quietly name the process. I am replaying the conversation. Not, they definitely think I am incompetent, and not, I must stop thinking. The first sentence describes what your mind is doing. That small shift moves you from being inside the courtroom to noticing that the courtroom has reopened without any new witnesses. Second, check. Make 2 short columns, facts and story. Facts are details a camera could have recorded. They paused for 3 seconds. I lost my sentence. They said they had to leave. Story contains the meaning your mind added. They were judging me. I ruined everything. They will remember this forever. The story may be possible, but possible is not the same as observed. You do not need to replace it with a cheerful fantasy. You only need to stop disguising an interpretation as a fact. Third, choose. Ask, is there one proportionate action available? Maybe clarify a deadline, send a simple apology, or write 1 sentence you want to remember next time. Take that action once. If no useful action exists, close the review on purpose. Save the note, stand up, and give your attention a concrete destination, a walk, a shower, a task with your hands, or the next item on your calendar. The goal is not to erase the thought, it is to stop rewarding it with another trial. Return to the sentence from last night. Catch. This is the replay. Check. The fact is that they paused. The story